The fundamental question that is faced by sports is, do they want, will the industry ever allow somebody to tell the truth on the air? But I don't think that today that will ever happen again. I don't think the industry will allow it.
Dino Costa is on your radio now.
If Trevon, what's his last name?
Dino Costa.
It's Thursday across North America and around the world, and you're listening to the worldwide Dino Costa radio experience on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio.
Kaplan just sent me a link. I wouldn't know this, but Kaplan tells me that, I guess I did see something about this. The fan that ran out on the field during the All-Star game, Kaplan?
Yeah.
And he's facing how much time in jail? Who is this person, by the way?
He's facing up to a year. He's an 18-year-old Long Island resident. His name's Dylan Q. Mascone.
Okay, here's what I want them to do with Dylan, who ran out on the field during the All-Star game. Put him in jail for a year. Put him in jail for a year and send a message in the process. And you know what they should do? From now on all the video boards around Major League ballparks, they should have a public service announcement before each of the games. And they should say, and they should play I guess he ran out onto the field, the security got him and took him away. There should be a public service announcement before the game. And it should be, don't be like Dylan. See Dylan? Dylan ran out on the field at the All-Star game at Citi Field in New York last week or whenever. And Dylan is currently serving 12 months incarceration. You know, enough of these people being stupid, running out on the field. Who knows? I mean, for the safety of the players, for crying out loud, you've got to send a message, especially in this sick and dark and twisted society. All we need is for somebody to run out on the field and do something outrageous. And I'm not even gonna say what, for fear that it could actually materialize. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, what the hell is going on? I mean, you get people running out on the field, acting like jackasses. Reckless, irresponsible. Stop. Will you put the kid in jail for you? Send a message. Make an example out of him. And tell people before games, you run out on the field, you could be facing 1 year incarceration. That's what they should do. Hour number 4 on this Thursday, July the 18th show. Across North America and around the world, Sirius XM Radio. Kaplan and Gerberg producing. Who's taking the nightcap reins after me?
Super Dan Grassa.
Super Dan Grassa's coming by. And, of course, he'll probably get a call from... Does Sonny still call Dan's show?
He does.
Sonny will be on, so you'll hear... Sonny's got his own segment on Dan's show.
He's got a little pick segment.
He does his pick segment, yeah. I heard that going home one night after the show.
I called into Sonny's his own radio show 2 weeks ago.
You called it?
Yeah.
And how'd it go?
It was good. He's got a good show.
So you were a guest?
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Did you talk about this show?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yep.
Is Sonny still chagrined he's not allowed on this show?
Yeah, he's very upset.
Wow.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Why are Jets fans angry at me, by the way? Why? I'm not talking about Winnipeg Jets fans. I'm talking about New York Jets fans. Why are they angry at me? Because I look at the Jets, I look at that roster, I look at the coaching staff, the situation there, the lame duck status of Rex Ryan, the quarterback situation, the fact that they lost by far their best defensive player, that they're going to be in a major rebuild here, if not starting this season, then certainly next season when Mike Zimmer is going to be named the new head coach of the New York Jets, the current defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. That Rex Ryan is going to be fired during the season by John Idzik and Woody Johnson. And then the rest of the season is going to be handled by, I don't know who. I mean, the Jets might have a collection of people running the team. But, you know, I mean, am I supposed to be excited for the Jets that Chris Ivory is going to be their... Well, Chris Ivory's a well enough running back, but, I mean, the Jets' offensive line, does that inspire confidence? The entire Jets' defense, does that inspire confidence? Because I said the Jets are going to wind up this season, in my mind, with the worst record in the NFL, and get the number one pick in the draft in 2014, which is going to be an amazingly great thing for the Jets and their fans. You're looking at Jadeveon Clowney. You're looking at, who else, Kaplan? You're looking maybe at Teddy Bridgewater. You might be looking at Johnny Manziel. You could be looking at a wide variety of players. You can have the number one pick in the draft. I mean, listen, I recognize on defense you've got some talent there with Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson and guys like Quentin Copels. I understand that. But this is a bad football team. This is a football team looking down the 16 games that is going to be strewn with carnage throughout the season. And I get these people saying that I'm hating on the Jets. I'm not Kaplan. I'm not hating on the Jets.
No, the truth hurts, though.
I mean, they don't have a quality quarterback on the roster right now. They do not have a quality quarterback on the roster right now. Their running game is exceptionally suspect. They've got one receiver in Santonio Holmes, and who knows what his state of mind is going to be, or even if he's going to be able to stay injury-free the entire season. Who knows? Okay, Stephen Hill is a young up-and-coming receiver, but he's not keeping defensive coordinators up at night, worried. I mean, Bilal Powell, I like him well enough. Ivory, I mentioned him. D. Milliner, their number one pick is a rookie. I know David Harris is back on that defense. I like him as a player, but the Jets are looking at 9 miles of rough road this year, and you look at that schedule that they have. Kaplan, what did I say the Jets would be this year? I forgot what I said.
Well, did you give them one game, maybe 2 games?
2 games. I said they're going to finish 2-14. And I get people sending me all kinds of tweets. Listen, anyone in their right mind think they're going to beat Tampa Bay on opening day? You're losing that game. You're going to be 0-1. Anybody think the Jets are going into New England the following game? Let me get the Jets' schedule out here. Hold on for a second, Kaplan, if you don't mind. Temporary pause in Dino Costa Show activities. Back right after this. All right, that didn't take long. I'm back. There we go. You're not beating Tampa Bay on opening day. You're losing to New England. You're going 0-2. The Bills will beat you week 3. The Bills will beat you on week 3. By week 3, after the Jets lose to Buffalo, Kaplan, the natives are going to be very restless in the New York metropolitan area. The gangrene fans will start to become unglued. And then I get a guy sending a message to me. You mean to tell me you don't think we're going to beat Tennessee? No, you're not going to beat Tennessee. You're not going to beat Tennessee in Nashville on, September the 29th? You're going 0-4. Then can you imagine what the score is going to be, Kaplan? This is an 0-4 football team headed into Atlanta. Week 5?
No, it's going to get ugly.
Not only that, and the Steelers are not even that good. I mean, this is not going to be a great Steeler team this year. But they're 0-5. They come home after being absolutely waxed in Atlanta. And they play the Steelers at home. They're going 0-6. I looked again. I said, okay, 0-6. Who do they play next? New England at home. They're not beating the Patriots. And the Patriots, look, I'm not ready to write the Patriots off, but at the same time, I don't think the Patriots are going to be the juggernaut that they've been in years gone by. But do you think the Jets are beating the Patriots, Kaplan, on October the 20th?
No, definitely not.
Then, okay, so they're 0-7. So people say, how do you get to 0-9? Well, you're not beating Tampa to start. You're not beating New England, and you're not beating Buffalo. You're 0-3. And then, do you really think you're going to go to Nashville and beat the Titans? That's not happening. You're 0-4. You're not going to the Georgia Dome and beating the Falcons may go to the Super Bowl this year. You're 0-5. Pittsburgh, you're 0-6. New England, you're 0-7. Cincinnati, 0-8. New Orleans, Kaplan, do you see the Jets beating New Orleans?
No, I do not.
0-9. Rex Ryan will be fired following the New Orleans game, Kaplan. They've got a bye. And I don't know if it's going to be Marty Morningweg. Maybe he's going to be the coach for the balance of the remainder of the season. Maybe it's Dennis Thurman, their new defensive coordinator, who's taking over for Mike Pettin. I don't know. But they will beat Buffalo in week 11, Kaplan, which will be their first win of the season. I went through this the other day. They'll be 1-9. They will lose at Baltimore to go 1-10. They will lose to the Dolphins 1-11. They will lose to Oakland 1-12. They will lose to Cam Newton in Carolina 1-13. And then, Kaplan, they will pull a stunning victory off against Cleveland at home 3 days before Christmas. They'll beat the Browns to go 2-13. And then there ain't no way they're going to Miami to close the season against the Dolphins, Kaplan, who I'm going to talk about here in just a second. The Jets, get used to it. They're going 2-14, worst record in the NFL, number 1 pick in the draft, Kaplan. It's already happened.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
And then after the season, you get the number 1 pick, and then Mike Zimmer is going to be your new. There's 2 guys that I can think of that are going to be the Jets' next head coach. I named one of them. And if the Bengals make the playoffs for the 3rd season in a row, it's going to be very difficult for someone not to hire Mike Zimmer, who deserves a head coaching job, I think, or a shot. And the other guy I think that could become the Jets' new coach is the guy that, listen, John Idzik and his connection to Seattle, Darrell Bevels, the offensive coordinator on Pete Carroll's staff. So I could see the Jets going to one of those 2 guys. Now, as far as the Dolphins are concerned, again, a team that I'm very bullish on, but a team that is far from complete. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. I think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. And you can talk until the cows come home about, listen, the Dolphins were uber aggressive in this offseason. Very, very aggressive. And I thought they made some very good moves. But, when you think about this season for the Dolphins, if you're a Dolphin fan down there in South Florida, and you think about the success and or failure of this team to take the next step, for Tannehill to emerge as one of the most reputable signal callers in the NFL. And don't forget, you look at Tannehill last year. I don't know exactly how many yards he threw for. It wasn't, he didn't throw for 5,000 yards. I'd imagine he threw for, if I had to guess, somewhere over 3,000 yards maybe. But he did so without anywhere near an elite. It's sort of like the Bradford situation in St. Louis. Bradford's had nobody to work with on offense. Tannehill, for a guy, first season, started last year. I thought he did remarkably well. You know what's a great sign for the Dolphins as well, Kaplan? I'll tell you this. And very few teams have the kind of a quarterback arrangement that the Dolphins have, because not only do they have a guy that could emerge and develop into a franchise sort of a quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, but they have one of the best backups in the NFL in Matt Moore. And I'll tell you another thing. Behind Matt Moore, this kid Pat Devlin is not – didn't Devlin go to Delaware? Didn't he go to school where Flacco went to school? I think – check on that. I think Devlin did go to Delaware. But those 3 quarterbacks – I can see Devlin someday leaving Miami and becoming a starting quarterback somewhere else in the National Football League. But they've got a solidified quarterback trio going forward. They lost Reggie Bush, but let me get back to what I was saying before. You can talk to me about their free agent acquisitions this season. The guy that might hold the key to success for Miami going forward this season might very well be the same guy that protected Andrew Luck at Stanford for a couple of years. I was talking about the Rams before, and they signed away Jake Long. Jonathan Martin, who was their second-round pick last year, started on the right side at right tackle, is going to shift over to the left side, the blind side of Tannehill this year. Jonathan Martin might be the key to success for Miami this year, at least in terms of keeping Tannehill upright and protecting his blind side. That kid's got a load of responsibility going forward this year. Jonathan Martin, young guy. And don't forget, last year he did start when Long was injured. They shifted him from the right side to the left side. So he does have some experience going into year number 2. But he's a huge player for Miami going forward. The offensive line is still not, and I talk about the Dolphins being a team that is not yet complete. It's that offensive line that needs help. Okay, the strength of that team is their defensive line, without question. I love the additions of Ellerbe and Philip Wheeler. Ellerbe, of course, from the Ravens. Wheeler comes over from the Raiders, where he had a terrific season last year on that Oakland defense. But the offensive line still needs to be shored up. It's not as listen. Pouncey, if I can get past that stupid. He did go to Delaware. Thank you, Pat Devlin. If I can get past the thing with the free Aaron Hernandez hats that they wore in the club down in Miami, last Saturday night. Pouncey is a terrific football player, and he's the anchor to that line. Pouncey is a guy that Mike Pouncey's a guy that the Dolphins want to see playing center for years. And listen, I like Richie Incognito. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's a dirty sort of a player. He's a mauler. He's a brawler. But he's a good player. I like him, and I think he lends a lot of veteran leadership to that offensive line. I'm high on the Dolphins, but they're not where they want to be yet. I think they're making a progression. They've had 2 pretty good drafts in a row, and again, they were very, very active in the offseason. You look at Tannehill. How many yards did Tannehill throw for last year, by the way? Do we know? I said over 3,000. But give me the number that he threw for. He didn't have a lot of touchdown passes. I think he had maybe similar touchdown to interceptions last year. What did he throw for, Tannehill, last year?
Last year threw for 3,294 yards, 12 touchdowns.
And how many picks?
13.
Okay, so he had 12 touchdowns, 13 picks. Don't forget, he threw for over 3,000 yards last year with an offense that was really devoid of playmakers. So that's pretty impressive. And he lit up, what's that game late in the season last year? He had a terrific game late in the season. It was his best game in terms of yardage. He lit it up late in the season. I think it might have been against, I don't know who it was actually, but I know that he played very well last year, late in the season. But he did that all without the benefit of really having a supporting cast around him. Now, what was their biggest, on offense last year, what was their biggest handicap? It was skill position players. And yet, they did well in the offseason. I love the signing of Mike Wallace away from the Steelers, and I love the signing of Brandon Gibson away from the St. Louis Rams. And I was just talking about the Rams before. He now has 2 receivers, Wallace, an accomplished player and a multiple-time Pro Bowl player, still in his prime, still a burner, still a guy that can stretch a defense, is going to call for double teams on occasion, and Gibson on the other side. I mean, Gibson, I believe, is coming off a career year from a season ago. So, and also throw into the mix Brian Hartline, who is a terrific possession receiver. I think he's got some weapons. Don't forget also they signed away Dustin Keller from the Jets. Tannehill goes back to pass and looks down the field and goes through his progressions this year. He's got a hell of a lot more options this year than he had to work with last year. But they're not all the way there yet. Don't forget they also lost Reggie Bush. I don't think that's going to be because of the subsequent additions on offense that they made with some of the names that I just mentioned. I don't think that the loss of Bush is going to hurt them as much as it might if he were still the only guy coming back that was really, a scary offensive player that could do some things. Lamar Miller, the kid that they took out of Miami, I think they took him in the 4th round 2 years ago. I spoke about the value of the Miller pick at the time they made it. He's going to be counted on to carry the ball this year, and we'll see. I think that they'll probably go similar to a lot of teams now seem to be going to a running back by committee sort of a scenario. I think the Dolphins will be that kind of a team. And I noticed, I was reading the Miami Herald just yesterday, and their defensive coordinator, Kevin Coyle, says he wouldn't trade Cameron Wake for any defensive player in the NFL. Now, that's high praise. That also is meant to motivate Cameron Wake, of course, and feed into his confidence going into the season. And why not? I mean, this guy was a terror last year. That defensive line that they have, with the additions of Wheeler and Ellerby at linebacker, you look at that defensive line, Randy Starks, I just mentioned Wake, Paul Saleh, Jared Odrick. I mean, they have some talent and some depth along that defensive line, and then you add linebackers like Wheeler, who's a ball hawk, a guy that has got a big-time nose for the football. Ellerby, I think, is going to be important in terms of neutralizing a lot of the tight ends, the pass-catching tight ends that Miami's going to face this year. He's got speed. He can cover receivers out of the backfield, off the line of scrimmage with tight ends, as I just said before. And the one area of concern that I do have is their defensive secondary. Again, this is not a team that is complete yet. They are making it is an ongoing process. They are a team that is much better than they were 3 years ago. They're a better team than they were last year, but they're not a team that is at that elite level yet. I think they're another year away, another good draft, and maybe a couple of more significant free agent signings, bolstering that offensive line. I think that then the Dolphins will be a team that can contend for bigger and better things. Don't forget, last year at this time, they had Vontae Davis and they had Sean Smith at the corner position. They traded Davis. You remember last year during Hard Knocks, they traded Davis to Indianapolis before the season. People criticized them for it. I thought it was the right move, and I've always loved Sean Smith as a corner. He's got big, rangy size, but he signed with Kansas City in the offseason. So they do have some work to do with their defensive secondary, and I guess they're going to rely on guys, like Richard Marshall. And they did sign Brent Grimes, I forgot to mention, from Atlanta, who was out last year. If he's the player he was before he was injured with Atlanta, then the Dolphins have got themselves a very good player in Brent Grimes. So I think this is a team. What'd they go last year, Kaplan? 7-9 last year, the Dolphins? I think this is a team. Let me look at their schedule real quick, by the way. Momentary pause in operations on the Dino Costa Show, and then I'll get to your phone calls, 888-MAD-DOG-6. Just give me a second here. I got it. All right, here we go. Dolphins, Cleveland week 1 in Cleveland. I think the Browns are going to be better this year. Boy, that ownership situation. We're going to discuss that tomorrow on a Conversation Friday. We'll have Cleveland Browns talk tomorrow, the ownership situation with Jimmy Haslam and his company and the indictments from the government and stuff like that. We'll talk about that on the show tomorrow. But the Dolphins open up on the road in Cleveland. Actually, as I look at this schedule, they have a bear of a schedule with their first 5 games. If they come out of the first 5 at 2-3, because they've got a bye going into week 6, and they pick up with Buffalo at home in week 7 on October the 20th. Listen to this. They've got Cleveland on the road. They open up with 2 straight on the road. Indianapolis on the road, week 2. The game in Cleveland's not going to be easy. Certainly the game in Indianapolis is not going to be easy. So 2 big games. Then they've got Atlanta in their home opener in South Florida. Then they go to New Orleans. So they have, in a space of 3 weeks, going into 2 of the toughest domes in the NFL. In Indianapolis, taking on the Colts in week 2. Week 4, they go into New Orleans, take on the rejuvenated, Sean Payton is back, led New Orleans Saints. Atlanta and New Orleans back. Listen to this 4-game stretch after Cleveland. At Indianapolis, Atlanta at home, at New Orleans, Baltimore at home. Brother, that's tough. That is tough. That's why I say they get out of that 2-3, and I think that they'll be, they go 3-2, obviously be better. Hey, 5-0 would be the best, but you know what I mean. They go 2-3, 3-2. I think they'll be okay. Buffalo after the bye at home, then they go to New England, Cincinnati at home. They go to Tampa, San Diego at home, Carolina at home, at the Jets, at the Steelers, New England at home, at Buffalo on December 22, the Jets to close it out. 7-9 last year. This is a club that could conceivably, I think, could go 7-9 again. Could go 8-8. Could go 9-7. And with a bounce of the football here and there, stealing a game, pulling one out of the fire, could go. I think they can go anywhere from 7-9 to 8-8, 9-7, 10-6. One of those 4 scenarios. I think the Dolphins will be either 7-9, 8-8, 9-9, or 9-7, or 10-6. That's a tough. Last year, what were they at home? They were 5-3 at home last year. Well, no matter what, I think things are on the upswing for the Dolphins, and they're one of the teams that I've got my eyes on going into this 2013 NFL season, which is right around the corner. Quick timeout. Back with your phone calls after this at 888 and Mad Dog 6. The Dino Costa Show on Sirius XM Sports Radio 86 returns right after this.
He's been fearlessly independent his whole life. You're listening to Dino Radio, the Dino Costa Show, right here on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio.
All right, get to your calls in just a second. You want me, you got to get me now. Because we're hitting the home stretch here, 27th of the hour, the final hour on a Thursday, and then Super Dan Grassa comes by with the nightcap. All right, there's this thing again. X Games champion Travis Pastrana has leaped from an airplane without a parachute. Now, I've been thinking about this since I've been making this read now for about a month. How did Travis Pastrana, Kaplan, leap? Have you found out how he leaped from an airplane without a parachute and lived to tell about it?
I saw the video. He jumped out, and then what happens is two guys jumped out after him with parachutes. They caught up with him, and then he kind of like latched onto one of the guys that had the parachute. So he was free falling for a couple of minutes.
He jumped out of the plane.
Yeah.
Without a parachute.
Right.
Then two guys jumped out of the plane after him.
Yeah.
They
with
caught
parachutes.
up to him. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
They caught up to him. He wrapped his arms around him, one of the guys with the parachutes.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I see.
Right.
What the hell's so impressive about that? Let me ask you.
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't say, the copy should read, for instance, X Games champion Travis Pastrana has leaped from an airplane without a parachute, but was rescued by someone who jumped out of the plane after him with a parachute.
Right. He only didn't have a parachute for like 30 seconds.
Oh, stop. Anybody could do that.
Yeah.
If you think that's crazy, here's something else Travis has done. Now, this, to me, this pales in comparison. You tell me, if you jump out of an airplane without a parachute, that's pretty damn impressive if you do it until you hit the ground. See, I thought he jumped out of the plane without a parachute and landed out in some pasture field, maybe landed on a bale of hay.
Right, that would be
or something, okay? But now they say, if you think that's crazy, here's something else, as though this is supposed to, like, trump jumping out of a plane without a parachute, okay? He once jumped his rally car 269 feet onto a barge. Big deal.
Barge.
I mean, Evel Knievel used to do that kind of stuff every day.
Yeah. Is the barge moving?
Listen, the guy that walked the tightrope without a harness across the damn Grand Canyon. Now that was something.
Yeah.
But what's his latest feat? Well, Travis races his 650. Who the hell is this guy, by the way? I've never even heard of Travis Pastrana. Who is he? Anyway, he's got a 650 horsepower Roush Fenway stock car. And he only uses a racing formulation of Valvoline motor oil with next-gen technology. Says here that it's made with 50% recycled oil. Is that good? Is that a good thing? That it's made with 50% recycled oil? I don't even know is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I don't think that's so good.
I would want oil that's made out of recycled oil. I'll tell you that right now.
I want fresh oil.
I want fresh. I want never before used oil.
Yeah. Hand-me-down oil.
Exactly. Valvoline Next Gen, the copy says, is specifically designed for today's hotter running engines. Looks like recycling just got badass. Who wrote this? To see more from Travis and from Valvoline Next Gen, go to youtube.com/Valvoline, Kaplan. Have you been there? Have you seen this?
Of course.
Okay. With 50% recycled oil, make the switch today to Valvoline. See, that's supposed to be like an inducement to go buy this. They continue to have me say this is made with 50% recycled oil. That does nothing for me.
It's a deterrent.
It is a deterrent. I will not buy something that has been made with recycled oil. Just like I'm not going to buy, I got the printer here in my office studio, Kaplan. I never buy recycled paper.
Yeah, why would you?
I want fresh paper. I want brand new paper. I don't buy recycled clothes. Do you buy recycled clothes?
Never.
Well, neither do I. Why the hell would we buy I go to get a cigar. Do I buy a recycled cigar?
No.
Recycled chewing tobacco? No.
No, absolutely not.
All right, anyway, they're big on the recycled oil here at Valvoline Next Gen. Go to youtube.com/Valvoline. With 50% recycled oil, make the switch today to Valvoline with the old Next Gen technology. It's better for the... Oh, I see. It's better for the environment, Kaplan.
Yeah, it's important.
And I give a rat's ass, okay, about the environment. I have never... Listen, do you know, Kaplan, that since... Isn't it mandatory that we recycle?
I think it is.
I've never recycled a day in my life. How about that? I've never recycled a day in my life, and I will never buy Next Gen oil if it's recycled. I'll buy Next Gen oil. Now, they've got to have another brand that is not recycled, you would think.
I'm sure.
I would buy that oil. Says here it's better for the environment and great for your engine. That's Valvoline with Next Gen technology, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Now, that's badass. Oh, no better way to hit the home stretch, baby, on a Thursday. Al Wilson, formerly a singer, and then he was a linebacker with my Broncos for a few years, wore number 56, and this was before his NFL days. Baby, it's called Show and Tell.
These are the eyes that never knew how to smile till you came into my life. These are the arms that long to lock you inside every day and every night. Girl, and here is the soul of which you've taken control. Can't you see I'm trying to show love is right?
Oh, baby!
Oh, show and tell, just a game I play when I want to say.
When I want to say, baby, I love you.
I love you.
Show me.
Tell me you feel the same way too.
Tell me you feel that way too, baby. Say you do. Say you do.
These are the hands that can't help reaching for you if you're anywhere inside.
Anywhere inside, baby. Yeah.
And these are the lips that can't help calling your name in the middle of the night.
Oh, here we go again. This song just gets into you.
Oh, and here is the man who needs to know where you stand. Don't you know I've done all I can? So decide. Oh, show and tell. It's just a game I play.
Just a game I play. What I want to say.
I love you, girl. So show me.
Kaplan, bring us back into this Thursday show across North America and around the world, baby. Do it now.
He's America's nighttime sports radio voice of reason. This is the Dino Costa Show, and you're experiencing it right here on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio.
All right, hold on. Hold on now. Here comes the crescendo. Here we go now. Al, with feeling, baby, with feeling.
Here's the soul of which you've taken control. And to see I'm trying to show love is right. Ooh, girl, show and tell. Just a game I play when I want to say, oh, I love you. Girl, so show me and tell me that you feel the same way too. Say you do, baby. Oh, show and tell. Just a game I play when I want to say.
Kaplan, I just got a tweet. I don't know if you saw this very cute girl who just tweeted me. Amanda Dobbins. Have you seen this?
No, I got to check that out.
Amanda Dobbins tweets me, and she says that my boyfriend is forcing me to listen to you and won't shut your show off. She says, so entertain me.
What does that mean?
Now, well, no, I don't know. Now, take a look at the picture of Amanda.
Attractive-looking woman.
Now, Amanda Dobbins. Now, we are talking now here. Yeah. Out there in Long Island, New York. I'll tell you, Amanda, baby, we're going to be having one of those Dino dinners again in New York soon. And Amanda is invited, baby.
Yeah, she'll be there.
Oh, boy, my fans, I'll tell you. Do I have the best fans? These guys that listen to this show, they got the hottest-looking women on their arms. You remember well, I can't say. I was going to say something that I got.
Could have been bad.
You understand where I was going with
absolutely.
that? Yeah, I can't say that.
Yeah.
I can't say that. It's not something we should say. We had a good time at the Dino dinner in New York a couple months ago. Wasn't that back in April?
It was.
We had a good time.
Great
and
time.
We had some attractive looking people there.
Yeah.
And it was good. And Amanda, if you're listening to the show, you're invited to the next Dino dinner in New York. And whoever this boyfriend is that you have, he is not invited.
Yeah, he can stay home.
So he will stay home. So there you go. All right, let's go to some phone calls here. Thanks for the tweet, Amanda. Appreciate it. To McAllen, Texas. And Tony is there. And he's on the Dino Costa Show, Hour 4 on this Thursday. Hi, Tony.
What's going on, Dino?
Hey, Tony. How are you?
Talk about your Dolphins, buddy.
The Dolphins. I'm bullish on them Miami Dolphins, yes.
I think it'd be a prayer answered if they started out 2-3.
Yeah, like I said, man, you look at they got after the opener in Cleveland, Indianapolis in the Dome, Atlanta at home, in the Dome in New Orleans, Baltimore at home. That's a bear right there. Those 4 games. That's a tough stretch.
Yeah, and they could actually, if Cleveland's lucky, they could actually be 0-5.
Well, they could, conceivably, yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it, because Miami didn't finish all that well last year. I can't believe that's their opening schedule. I mean, that's just incredible opening schedule for them.
It's pretty tough. And it gets easier. Well, they've got to go to Pittsburgh in December. That's not going to be an easy game to win. They have a tough schedule. That's why I say I could see them, anywhere from 7-9 as a low. I think they're a 7 at their very worst, 7-9. At their best, I think they're a 10-win football team.
That'd be interesting. I like the Dolphins, and I would like to see them.
If they win, if they win
like that, it's just tough.
Yeah, if they win 10 games this year with that kind of a schedule, that would be some accomplishment. If they can get the double-digit wins. I didn't even know that till I brought the schedule up, just how tough that early season is. You know what that tells you? That if the Dolphins if they're gonna compete for a playoff spot this year, and I think they can, could we see the AFC East? Is this the year that the AFC East can be won with a 9-7 record? I mean, that's conceivable. A lot of things are conceivable, but what it tells me is the Dolphins have got to win that opener in Cleveland. They have got to, because then if they can split their next 4, you get through, if you win in Cleveland and you get through a road game in Indianapolis, a home encounter against Atlanta, a road game in New Orleans against the Saints, and a home game against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Baltimore Ravens, you get through that stretch 2-2 after winning in Cleveland. You go into the bye 3-2, and you're looking at Buffalo on the other side of the bye at home in your park in South Florida. And if you grab that game, you're 4-2 before going to New England for a biggie, you would think, against the Patriots on October the 27th. Now I can't stop thinking of this Amanda Dobbins, Kaplan.
I can see why.
Man, does she have any other pictures up there?
She does.
She does?
Yeah.
How's she look?
She looks good. Really good.
Let me see here. Well, she's a young kid, though.
Yeah, really young.
She's a young kid. Let me see. Let me bring this one up here. These you got to be careful with these Long Island girls, too.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, you never know with these girls. These Long Island girls can be very, very temperamental. Very temperamental. Who's you remember the Long Island Lolita?
Of course.
The one who shot Joey Buttafuoco's wife? What was her name again?
Amy.
Amy Fisher.
Yeah.
Okay, Long Island girl.
Yeah.
You see what happened?
That's true.
Okay, I get involved with this girl, Amanda Robbins. Who knows? She flies out here he lands in Denver, goes and finds my wife, and shoots her in the head.
It's possible.
We don't need that. We don't need that. All right, hold on. I'm looking for some more pictures here of Amanda. Is that her boyfriend?
That would be my guess. The guy she's kissing?
Yeah, she can do don't you think she can do much better than
Definitely.
that? Yeah, her boyfriend's probably, Amanda, your boyfriend is probably, obviously your boyfriend's got great taste if he listens to this show. Well, look at her, Aaron. She's hot. The boyfriend has got great taste, Kaplan, if he's listening to this show.
Yes,
taking nothing away from him, but I think that Amanda is selling herself a little bit short.
Yeah, she can do better.
Oh, much better. Much better. I mean, she's a kid. She's probably a little misdirected.
She
Now,
in high school? I don't know.
I don't know. It says she's a dancer.
What does that mean?
What is that? Well, I'm thinking the same thing. What do you mean, like at scores? She one of those dancers?
Is she 22? She says 22.
I have no idea. She's 22 years old?
Maybe.
Really?
I don't know.
She doesn't look 22, man. Oh, wait, is that her boyfriend there? Hold on. Let me go back. No, that's not her boyfriend. The one, did you see the one that says she's with the guy, it says 6 years ago? I don't think that's it. Maybe it's her boyfriend. I don't know. She's got nice nails. Well, there's a picture of her nails.
I know, I'm looking at them.
Here she is on the beach, on vacation. What is that guy doing up in a tree?
Where's that picture?
June 12th. He's up in a tree. The hell's that all about? She's 22. Maybe she is a dancer. Well, there's a boy. That boyfriend's not a bad-looking guy. He's a pretty good-looking guy.
I
take that back. I take that back. He looks like a pretty reputable guy. Amanda, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. Stick with that guy. Stick with that guy. But I'd love to know what kind of a dancer she is. You know, she's got a rocking little body. You got to admit that.
Yeah.
I go watch her dance.
Definitely.
Looking for other pictures over here. Oh, I think her boyfriend's in the Army or something. See the picture of him? He's got a uniform on.
Yeah, he looks like he's in the Army.
Yeah. I'm liking this guy even more now.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Who are these punks that I'm looking at here? Oh, there's a cute little guy there. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
What is Red Mango? What is that?
It's like a frozen yogurt place.
Amanda likes Red Mango.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Is that her kid?
Maybe.
She got a kid?
It's possible.
She's a dancer with a kid. Got a lot of damn pictures up here. My goodness. I thought I had a lot of pictures on my Twitter feed.
Is she a Cowboys fan?
Is she really?
I think she is.
She's Jewish.
Not surprising.
Well, there's a picture of a dog. Do you see what I'm looking at?
I do, yeah.
How would you describe that?
I don't know. Is it dressed up in Jewish garb?
It's a Jewish dog.
Yeah.
Dobbins. I didn't know Dobbins is Jewish.
Yeah, neither did I.
Well, that's even more of a warning sign as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you stay
Not only is she from Long Island, but she's Jewish.
Yeah.
Look at that outdoor. Look at that. See that? What is that? Like a fire pit? An outdoor? Look at that thing.
Yeah, it looks good. Cooking pizzas in there.
Oh man, that is great. She is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty healthy rack. Look at the picture of her on in December 11th. A few pictures past the.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, she's not bad. Not bad. Yeah, well, Amanda, hopefully we've entertained you. You wanted to be entertained, so we've done our best to entertain her. Omaha, Nebraska. Brian is on the Dino Costa Show. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Dino, the show tonight, fantastic as always. I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Say, I know you said earlier in the show you don't love the DH, so this might not be your favorite question of the night. I doubt you'll enjoy it as much as you enjoyed Amanda Dobbins or whatever.
Wait a minute. Kaplan, she just answered me. She just answered me.
Really? What she said?
Yes. She says she's laughing her ass off listening to me talk right now. She says she's not Jewish. And her boyfriend's very good looking. He's loving every moment. We are making Amanda Dobbins. We are taking her name national across America and around the world here tonight on Sirius XM Radio. We are making her a star, Kaplan.
Yeah, she's famous now.
She's going to have, you know how many people, Amanda, are going to be following you now? You did entertain me. She just tweeted me again. Thanks. I love your show a little bit more now.
It was all about her.
Well, what about dinner, though? I mean, when I come to New York, are we getting together for dinner? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, Amanda, are you interested in this or not? I mean, look at I've gone through some of your pictures, Amanda. The least you could do is go through some of my pictures, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right, Kaplan?
Yeah, at least.
I mean, a little yin to the yang here. A little reciprocal picture viewing.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian from Omaha, still on the line. Hi, Brian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, I totally understand, believe me. Listen, like 7-10 days ago or so, David Ortiz became the designated hitter with the most hits all time, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering, do you think and I know you don't love the position, but do you think he's the best DH ever?
I guess he's
You're
right. I guess he's right up there with Edgar Martinez, you know?
Right. I can tell you, because I looked up a little bit, David Ortiz is in his 11th season in Boston, and 7 of them have been Hall of Fame, 300 plus. Actually, one of those 7 was like 297. But he's had 7 out of 11 Hall of Fame seasons. Martinez had, I think, 11 out of 15 with Seattle. So it's Ortiz is not, he has been playing as long, but a lot of it was back with the Twins, and he wasn't playing as well then, right?
Right.
So it's right up there, but just, my own take on it, obviously the great Red Sox hitter of all time, Ted Williams, but that's obviously way before my time. Ortiz, I just love the personality. I love his style. I love the look. And in particular, because more than anybody else back in '04, he was the one that reversed the curse. He is my favorite Red Sox hitter of all time. So even if you put, Edgar Martinez ahead of him as a DH, he's my favorite Red Sox hitter.
I would have a lot more appreciation for David. Listen, I'm not saying David Ortiz has not been a key cog in the Red Sox machine over the last, since he's been there. But I'd have a lot more not respect, but appreciation, I think is the word. I'd have a lot more appreciation for David Ortiz if he was a full-time player. If David Ortiz, after he batted, put down the bat, picked up a glove, and went out and played first base. I'm not a fan of the DH. I've never warmed up to it. It is not a position that I have a whole lot of appreciation for. I know it's been part of the American League for years now, but it's just something that I think is it's a convoluted element to the game of baseball that to me doesn't belong. And I pray that someday the American League, I know it'll never happen because the Players Association would lose too many jobs as the result. I pray that the American League goes back to 9-man baseball, the way that the game was originally intended to be played. All right, Amanda got back to me again, Kaplan. She says, I'll hook you up with some brick oven pizza when you come to New York. Let me know.
All right. That's the first step.
Yeah, but if the boyfriend's going to be, I don't want to go if the boyfriend's going to be there.
Yeah, definitely not.
We don't want to. I mean, come on. Amanda, I'm inviting you, baby, into the city, into New York for another Dino dinner. Yeah.
Is it a private dinner or just 2 people? At this
No. There's a lot of people are going to be there to make Amanda feel. Actually, it'd be nice if we got both Amanda and her boyfriend to come.
Yeah.
To the next Dino dinner. That'd be the best thing. And your boyfriend, by the way, Amanda, I agree with you. He's a good-looking young man, and I guess he's in what is he, in the National Guard? What is he? I don't know what that.
In the Army. What is that?
Is it the Army?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. He's serving the country, and we salute him for that. So, amazingly enough, we have made it to the end of a Dino Costa show on this Thursday, the 18th day of July, and the year of our Lord 2013. Kaplan with a great job. Aaron Gerberg, Mr. Joshua, mile high salute to you, sir. Coming up next, you will stay tuned for the one and only Super Dan Grassa because he's coming in. He's got 2 hours worth of the nightcap on Sirius XM Sports Radio 86. Lord willing, I'll join you tomorrow. It is another in a long line of Conversation Fridays, the show where, much to the chagrin of others, it is much less about me, more so about them. Have yourself a great, great night. Here comes Super Dan Grassa. He's got nightcap. That's straight ahead next.